And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NTRLD Media, spelled out right, NTRLD_media. I'm your host, Nick DeSantis, known by several as Nicky Nicknames, and I'm joined by my co-host, holding it down on the ones and twos. You already know who it is. It's Todd Roshong, but you can call him T-Row Price because that man understands the return on your investment. And this right here is the NTRLD Pod, an idea to an idea, a podcast where two friends are out here just chopping it up regarding the latest news you didn't know you needed to know, with a goal of teaching you something new and us how to run a little podcast. And of course, I'd be remiss if I do not mention that each one of these episodes is mixed, mastered, edited, and produced by none other than One Time Productions. So welcome in. You already know what it is. And this is a new episode, and T is going to take it away with the agenda. What do we got today?
Welcome back. Good to be back. We are going to jump straight into our agenda today. I think we're going to kick things off with a little bit of this just interlude. We're going to talk about a few things that are going on in the world. Then we got to jump over to everyone's favorite, the WD-40 section. Yep. What's grinding your gears? Sir. What needs a little bit of grease?
Yes, sir.
I think Nick's got something teed up for that one today. We're gonna revisit the spins and flips section, something we haven't done in a little while.
Yes.
Talk about what we're listening to, what we're reading. And as always, we're gonna wrap things up with a little bit of Nick's inspiration. Send us out on a good note.
We have to. Yes.
So how's that sound to you?
Keep smiling. That's beautiful right there.
All right, I love it.
That is beautiful. All right.
So why don't we jump straight into a little bit of this just interlude? So
what do we got?
First item on our agenda, I got to be honest, folks. Nick wrote something down in our planning document here. He's got KMTTP, and I got to be honest, I didn't know what this was, so I did a little bit of Google real quick. Can you tell me what you have to say about the Caledon Multimodal Transit Transport Project?
Now, for everybody out there, of course, KMTTP is Kick Me Through the Phone, the illustrious kickball team that takes over New York City on a weekly basis every Wednesday night. That you know, you better know. Okay, so what the hell did you say?
I thought you were talking about
multimodal transit transport project. Where is that, dude? That is more entertaining than what I was going to say about the kickball team. But
I was very curious as to why you wanted to talk about this project about connecting the eastern Indian seaport of Kolkata to the Myanmar Sea at the Sitwe seaport in the Rakhine state of Myanmar.
Myanmar real quick. What one of the best country names out there? Myanmar.
I mean, it's a good one. I'll give you that.
But
I really was quite curious why you had something to say on this matter. It seems like it's a $400 billion US transit project. I didn't know why this meant something to you. But it turns out you're more so talking about.
Maybe it should. 400 Billy?
Yeah,
man, that's Mansa Musa numbers right there.
I mean, I feel like a lot of things when it comes to just like public transit investments are very large figures, things that are concerningly large.
The Caledon Multimodal Transit Transport Project literally just put a whole Larry Ellison on the table. I mean, about 400 billion? That's great. They literally just took Larry Ellison and just were like, hey, here we go. Let's build a highway. Hey, stretch it. Put that shit to Myanmar. Yeah. Yo, who is sitting at the table was like, hey, you know what? You know what we need? A highway to Myanmar. Yeah. That's good. I like that. Yo, this is sick. With Caledon a city? Well, man, I got to look this up for real. Multimodal. When you told me this, I was losing my mind. Folks, I'll just jump back to what it is. Kickball team's 1-1, and I've yet to play a game. I missed 2 games in a row. I'm going to get yelled at for it. I already know. And I'll be showing up on Wednesday. We're going to get right. However, my goal is to kick that ball all the way to Myanmar. So put a Larry Ellison on that. That's where that ball's headed. Okay.
You kick the ball straight through the phone. straight from Kolkata to
Straight through the
Myanmar.
phone. Is Kolkata a city? Like,
Yeah,
what
Kolkata,
even is that?
No, Kolkata is a city in India, and then
Okay.
the Sitwe, I assume that is.
Oh,
First
man,
of all,
that's
I
gonna be
assume
tough
that
to
I'm
say, bro.
pronouncing it incorrectly. So my apologies to our listeners from that part of the world.
Nah, you know what we need, bro? I already figured it out. We need to call Daksh. Daksh needs to join the pod and tell us where the hell this is and where it's going.
Call.
Yeah.
That's yeah. All right, we'll have to bring Daksh.
We figured it out. Hey, DV. Yep. All right, man. Hope you hear this. It's showtime, baby.
Well, I'm glad that we've really.
If you want to get an electric burrito and kick a ball, you could join the kickball team. Okay, so that's straight.
I'm glad that we've really kicked this episode off on a high note, and we were really.
I need more answers, bro. Like, this is this section is supposed to be like top something that's going on right now in the world, right? Like, what keeps the world spinning. How long has this project been in development? Because this sounds like something that's going to take years. The KMTTP. Right. Okay. Yeah. Now I know the acronym for it. I'm gonna start rolling. Okay.
All right. Well, by the time we come back for our next episode, I'll have a whole research paper ready for you so that we can talk ad nauseum about this project.
What about this idea? We just always kind of have like a KMTTP section where we talk about the team, but we also give an update on how the roadway project's going. Yes. Okay.
Right.
I need to know how my connection to Myanmar is looking. So that we're good.
All right.
We're good.
All right. We're on to something there.
That is beautiful.
Well, like I said, I'm glad that we kicked this off on such a high note. I think we need to jump over to something that maybe we do actually have a little bit more to talk about.
I think we just ruined 5 minutes of everybody's life. But now you know what KMTTP is. Okay.
That's right. Now we're going to jump into something, like I said, I think we were able to talk a little bit more about. I don't know if you've heard the news here, Nick. You remember EA, Electronic Arts?
Wait, I got this right here.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
I'm so glad you have the Unk voice for that. Very,
very
I
hope that worked pretty well. Was that fresh?
That sounded so good.
Good. So I thought I might have it.
EA Sports, it's in the game. EA, they are going private, folks. EA is currently a publicly traded company, and they're currently in talks of going private. They're going to sell out to a couple PE firms. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Saudi Public Investment Fund. That's the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. They've already got a 10% stake in EA. Them plus a couple PE firms are going in to buy the whole thing. So I think it's interesting. It's one of the biggest deals that's been struck for taking a company private again like this, especially in the video game space. I got to say, whatever you want to say about Saudi Arabia, about private equity, I know people have a lot of things to say. I'm just a big fan of EA, dude. Like I remember when I was pulling up. Well, you got something to say here?
What I get lost on this is a public company going private.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of that before.
No,
is this something that's more common than I realized?
As someone who works in the asset management space, it happens. I wouldn't say you have as many publicly traded companies that are then getting taken private, but think about it. It happened with Twitter, right? When Elon bought Twitter, that was a publicly traded company that got bought out and taken private. So it happens. It's probably not as common as the amount of IPOs that you hear about, initial public offerings, where private companies are then getting traded on the stock market. But no, it does happen. Because at the end of the day, it's equity.
It's interesting.
It's equity. And so if someone's got the money to buy it, they can.
And my mind goes to this. First of all, didn't realize that Saudi Arabia was invested in the Electronic Arts to begin with. Second of all, this is my question. What oil baron was sitting there and was like, bro, I love John Madden. Like, you ever played FIFA? Like, we need to invest in that shit. Like, who Who did that? Like, my thing is, do you think it was one of those things where, they were trying to figure out some oil deal, they couldn't get the price right in Russia, that was a big debacle, but then he loses to his brother in a game of Madden? Like, which one pissed him off more, the oil baron? Losing to your boy in Madden, or not getting that deal in Russia with economy of scale? Like, I need to know that. Like, that's what's interesting to me, is that Saudi Arabia's just coming in here and swiping it. Like, who's playing? Like, that's sweet right there.
So if for some sports fans that we have out there, some listeners, a lot of people are probably familiar with the Saudi PIF, the Public Investment Fund, because they are the primary financial backers of the Live Golf League, the competitor to the PGA Tour.
Oh, okay. Is this the same joint that bought like all the soccer teams too?
They do also. Different? Yep, they own. I think they have kind of like controlling ownership stake in the Saudi Soccer League, where Cristiano Ronaldo now plays. The fact that Cristiano Ronaldo gets paid like $1 trillion a year to play soccer.
Bro, Cristiano Ronaldo's contract is worth as much as the Caledon multimodal transport project. Okay, I just want everyone to know that.
I think his contract might be worth more. Like, it is a ridiculous amount of money Ronaldo that he gets paid by Al Nassr. It is ridiculous.
But yeah, so I guess that's true. I guess they've always been kind of interested in sports, and probably FIFA was the main pull there. But I would love to just know if the Saudi Arabian princes are just playing Madden. Like, is American football like? Has it penetrated via video game? I know it hasn't penetrated via like the actual sport. Sports like sports pretty mid. I won't lie, but like Madden, hey,
I don't really know.
That's crazy.
EA is kind of like riding a wave right now. They're about to release, I believe it's either Battlefield 6 or Battlefield 8. So that's one of their
Battlefield 2.
Yeah.
Battlefield's huge.
That's another big asset for EA.
Okay.
And they're about to release a new one in a couple weeks. The gaming community, I think, is pretty excited about that because their last couple have kind of flopped a little bit. So they're excited for EA and for the Battlefield franchise to kind of get back on track. And I think what EA is really doing is they're taking advantage of that momentum and, kind of selling high while they can.
Right. Okay. That's fair. I mean, that company can't be doing crazy, right? Because I feel like buying a game, like the Call of Duty type games, the Madden type games, where you have to bring a new one each year, that can't be sustainable anymore with like the Fortnites where they just update the joint.
So for sure, they're definitely. I think there's been a little bit of just not as much of a demand from the gaming community for new games when, you've got the likes of the Fortnites of the world where it's all those microtransactions that keep making them money. It's the same thing with like Minecraft, where it's just like you can buy the new skins or you can pay to upgrade it, so they make money that way. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you've heard of the game. I think it's called Apex, where it's a similar vibe to Fortnite. So I believe EA is the owner of that game, that kind of open world battle royale type shooter.
Yeah.
I think everybody's
that one's like second.
Yeah, so everyone's kind of in on that model. Because to your point, right? How many people are really getting excited for the next Battlefield, the next Madden,
doesn't Call of Duty have that? The Warzone or whatever? Does Battlefield have a Warzone? I mean, it's literally called Battlefield. I would assume
at this stage of the game. Yeah, I would think
thesaurus. Great word.
I would assume at this point that they've got something like that. But EA, no matter what they're up to now, no matter what games they're rolling out, that's just nostalgia to me. Like, I remember playing NCAA Football 12. Exactly.
Yes.
I had Mark Ingram on my cover, you know?
Nah, the mascot mode.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
When you could just play as Otto the Orange against the Oregon Duck, dude, it was iconic.
Yeah, the Stanford tree. The thing had no arms, so it just
it just rammed
the Toledo Rocket. That's a good one right there. The Western Kentucky Hilltopper. Yeah,
you got a lot of.
What you know about that?
You got a lot of good.
Me and the mascot, I'm big on the mascot. Shout out the Biscuits, man. They fell again, 10th year in a row, making the playoffs without a championship.
I know.
What, I think the Biscuits are in a video game, but I need a full Biscuits video game. Come on, EA. That's what EA can do next.
I don't know
There's your idea. 10%.
Who produces the show, MLB The Show. I don't think that's EA.
I don't think it's EA. I don't know who does that, though.
That's all right. Well,
maybe it's Sony, because I was only on PlayStation.
That's true. So on the topic of nostalgia, if we kick things back to, our very loyal listeners might remember episode 1 of the podcast, we talked about the fact that Nick and I, we work in the creative field. We studied marketing.
Okay.
I myself work in marketing. Nick is in advertising. So there's been a bit of a trend going on in marketing right now, focusing on nostalgia. I don't know if you've really caught on to this, but here's a couple just like kind of quick hitters for you. So overall, it seems like Gen Z is seeking a taste of the pre-digital age, which is interesting because that's very counterintuitive to everything that's kind of defined that generation thus far. But you see companies like Hollister. Hollister was up 19% in sales last quarter.
Dude, is that the one with the bird?
Yeah, that's the one that's
Does Hollister have a bird?
Yeah, it's just that like California surfer dude vibe.
No, what's the logo?
They got the bird on the logo. Yeah, you're right. It looks like a bird, seagull.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that logo is fresh. I'll give them that. What are they? Hollister, is it like an American eagle? Why are all these companies that are exactly the same all birds, man?
Well, American Eagle is in fact an eagle. I believe Hollister is more of like a seagull for their kind of like beachy vibes. But yeah, I mean, Hollister is the type of place, like they were popping off in the early 2000s. Like that was prime. Like, let's go to the mall and go shop at Hollister.
Like that was like Juicy.
Out. Yeah, exactly.
Remember Juicy Couture?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all those types of brands are popping off right now. And then even in the fast food space, we've seen Taco Bell come out with their Y2K menu.
Bro, what? Taco Bell just be releasing like the craziest commercials and they be playing like those white bands that go like, Dear Maria, count me in. Like they be playing those songs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's crazy.
They're buying into the nostalgia right now. It's a trend that's going on in marketing.
Wheatus?
No.
Taco Bell's be playing Wheatus, man.
If you're talking about... You're talking about
I'm just
Dear
a
Maria?
Teenage dirtbag baby. that's the vibe that Taco Bell's on right now. And I'll tell you one thing. You eat one of them Crunchwrap Supremes, you're going to turn into a teenage dirtbag. Quickly. That might be TMI, but shoot, you already know.
That's
maybe that's why.
Very, very true.
Well.
I guess so.
Yeah.
The last one I'm going to bring up. This is one that I think hits close to home for you. You remember when McDonald's brought back that Grimace shake?
Hey, where the fuck was Grimace?
He's your favorite, is he not?
Damn right, but where was he?
He went away, and then he came back.
To where?
I don't know.
The Grimace just disappeared for good?
No, he came back. What was that? A couple years ago now, I think. 2023, they brought him back. The Grimace shake, and then they sent him away again down to the gulag. I don't know, dude.
We're so fucking mad. And the Grimace didn't want to show up at all this year. Could have used the Grimace.
They probably could have.
What the hell is it? Grimace?
Grimace.
Have I told you the story about Grimace and how I thought it was Grimace?
You're going to have to tell the audience right now.
Yeah. When did they bring back the Grimace shake? Like 2-3 years ago?
2023.
Okay. To all my corporate Americans out there, if there's one thing, and you work with people who, this is terrible in and of itself, but they call it the offshore team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a lot of these big corporations are hiring people in like Latin American countries or South America, you name it, to work for probably way less to do more of the jobs of like the tagging ads and things like that. The only reason this is tied is Colombia, if you didn't know, shout out Colombia, has probably the most holidays of any country in the world. So we would work with a lot of people from Colombia. They would never be in, like ever. And because it's a very religious nation, Christian religion, so pretty much any Christian day, they get off.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it, like it'll be like St. Joseph's Day and they're off. So a lot of that was what they get off. It was we were going out one night. It was a Friday when they were bringing back the Grimace shake. Okay, I was in the East Village at a bar called Soul Lost. You already heard it here first. We're done with that. But we were leaving, and it was me, my girlfriend Andrea, and our homeboy. We call him Nona, but Chris Apello. So 3 of us. And we said, "Damn, we're hungry. We got to eat." So we roll up to McDonald's. Point being, that was a Friday, and the people from Colombia were out. It was a national holiday down there, okay? That's that. So I walk in there, okay, into this McDonald's.
Golden Arches.
I remember I've seen the trade character Grimace. I didn't know it was called Grimace. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I walk into McDonald's. There's no photo of Grimace anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The whole place is in Spanish. Why the East Village McDonald's is in Spanish, I can't tell you. But everywhere. Feliz cumpleaños de Grimace. Right? So happy birthday, Grimace. So I log in and I'm like, man, who the hell is Grimace? I'm like, Feliz cumpleaños de Grimace.
Grimace.
The Grimace. Like, what the hell? Who's Grimace? We were faded. All right, let's just call a spade a spade. Nona and Andrea are dead laughing. They're trying to explain to me in their drunk state that this is a trade character. They're not saying that, though. They're like, it's like, it's his birthday. I'm like, Grimace? And I'm thinking that this Grimace is the holiday in Colombia that they had off for this Friday. So I'm this has got to be like a saint, something like that. Like, this has got to be somebody who big in the Latin culture. Because why would it be in Latin? Why would we be saying happy birthday to Grimace, which is a very English created project, in Spanish in the East Village? Like, Feliz de cumpleaños de Grimace. I'm like, Grimace, we got a whole holiday for him. I was lost. So the whole time I thought he was Grimace. And then the motherfucker throws the first pitch for the Mets and we go on the streak last year. So I thought, I was like, man, Grimace, bring him back. I like this Grimace. So I'm all about Grimace, man.
Man.
But I don't call him anything else. He's Grimace from here on out. The moment I realized who it was, I was like, wow, I was bad. It was not a good look for the kid. I enjoyed the fries, but it was a bad look for the kid. Yeah.
His name is Grimace. It is not Santo Grimace down in Colombia.
Santo Grimace. Yeah. I like saying Grimace. Hey, Santo de Grimace. Hey, Z. Why not? You know what I mean? I put an Italian accent on it, that must have been the drunkenness in me. I don't know if it would be Grimace, but that sounds good though, doesn't it? That's got to be some sort of recipe that one of our Nonas is cooking up in the back. Hey, the Alfredo with a side of Grimace. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's got to be something right there.
I mean, I think people would probably be concerned if their Alfredo came out purple, but
Yeah, facts. Hey, Alfredo 2, Freddie Gibbs in The Alchemist, the cover is purple. Maybe they're drinking Grimace shakes when they were making the album. I don't know.
Maybe you're onto something. Maybe you're on.
I've never had a Grimace shake. You ever had a Grimace shake?
Neither have I. I have not.
I don't know. But where was he, man?
He didn't come back.
Where the fuck was he this year?
He
not at all.
Come back. And with that, the New York Mets sadly missed the playoffs.
That's it, dude. That's it.
It's the end of the
Goodbye.
We already had our WD-40 section last episode about the New York Metropolitans.
Yeah, we knew they were done. That was over.
I think this week we're going to bring the WD-40 section to a bit of a different topic.
Yeah.
So
now I got something here, folks. You might know I went over to the United Kingdom last week, so we've had a week break. Shout out London. Actually, London was a cool city. But the problem, British Airways. I don't know if anyone's ever flown British Airways before.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
British Airways.
You're going to talk shit on my girlfriend's father's employer right now?
Bro, I don't care who works for there. Grimace could work for there. British Airways, probably one of the worst experiences I've ever had on an airplane. Okay, going and coming back. They had so many of the what do you call it? First class type seats. Then they have like the travel luxury seats,
Business,
and then there's
business
the back.
class.
Then there's the gulag, and that's where I was sitting. Okay, and the gulag was for real.
Where did you fly out of?
JFK.
Okay.
Yes. So
I'm just
out of
curious.
there.
I'm curious because my girlfriend's father is at a different airport, so I'm glad that's not where you flew out of.
Dude, it wasn't even like the one. Yeah, there was one person that got on my nerves. I'll tell you about, but it was more of like the way they constructed the damn airplane. Like the seats were like this, real close, and it just was a mess, like a plain mess back there. On my flight back, I get put. You know how on these bigger planes you got 3 and then 4 the seats, right? So 4 seats in the middle, then 2 alleyways.
Yeah,
and then
that's
we
like
got
the
3 on each side. I was in the
Boeing
4.
777.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. It was a 777 joint. Okay. Shout out Boeing. Everett. Heard that here first. P&W. But the 4 seats, I'm right here. Dude, I had a big ass dude next to me on the right. A little sniffling, so he's got his arms across both of the armrests.
Oh,
boom.
no.
So I got no space. So I'm like this anyways. Here's the thing with the British Airways. Every plane I've ever been on, you have the seat in front of you has 2 posts that indicate where the seat is, and you put your bag underneath there, right? The seat post was directly in the middle of my seat.
You mean there was only 3 compartments under there?
3 compartments for 4 seats.
Oh, that don't sound right.
So I got the person next to me on the left, and I'm like, bro, I gotta put the bag here. Where do I put my legs? Okay. It's a 7-hour flight. I couldn't move my legs once. Now, they get mad if your bag's not pushed under for the takeoff and landing. Where am I supposed to put the damn bag?
I assume you had no room up top.
No, but how am I going to get up top? There's the big dudes next to me. Blah, 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 blah. How am I going to get around? So I'm sitting there in the middle, stuck up. Man, you got to give a compartment per seat. And I'll tell you what went down, okay? It went something like this. So I'm sitting there. I got the bag, and I just got it sitting straight up, and I got my legs over it. That bag's going nowhere. But they're getting mad at me because it's not pushed under. So the bitch comes through and is like this.
Excuse me, sir. You must push the bag underneath the seat right there.
Me, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm not going to be able to push it under. Bitch, you come over here and try to put it around my leg to the left and tell the person next to me to not, and tell big Snuffleupagus over here that he needs to shut up. Where am I going to put my damn bag? So I had my legs straddled around a pole in the middle. I was literally pole dancing on this entire flight home. I couldn't get up. The whole flight. So 7+ hours I sat the whole time, man. When I got off there, I've never peed longer in my life. Second, my ass still hurts to this day. My I don't know what bone that is. I think it's the tailbone. Man, I don't have a tail. But my tailbone hurts. Okay, and that's all British Airways' fault. How was I going to get up and stretch?
I'm not saying on the
next
plane.
to me, and then the damn ball in the middle. Oh, yeah. Respect. I was not a fan of the British Airways. Okay,
man,
it was a bad look. And I'm not really backing most airlines. I think airlines just got cheap, bro. Like, man, they're selling you a ticket. There's like 3 different versions of economy tickets now. Yo, stop. Sell the fucking ticket. Stop trying to make money off everything. Like everything.
You make a fair point.
I'm done.
That's just how, like you said, that's how airlines are. And it's all of them. It's whether you're going, I don't know, man. Flying is always.
I don't have the money to buy a plane. I have no money to buy a plane. I'll say that right now. But if there was one industry I would get in, if I had the my boy Larry Ellison dollars, it'd be the airline industry. There's so many damn problems there that could easily be fixed. You want to talk about the airplanes, what we just did. But second, just like the customer service throughout. You ever try to check a bag? Name me a time that it went easily, like literally. And then 3, do a rental car. Rental car's got to be the worst service ever. And we'll save that one. We'll save that one from a different WD-40.
All right.
I didn't rent a car. I'm just saying that rental car services are so we have to save that. But that industry needs like not even WD-40. They need the whole Home Depot, bro. They need the whole damn supply. Add in Lowe's, add in Amazon. They need all of that. All of the WD-40. Okay.
Damn.
It's bad.
Man, well.
That's all I got to say.
I'm glad that you got that off your chest. All right.
I needed something.
I could tell that one was really that was pent up anger in there on that one. So, flying for as easy as TSA PreCheck has the chance to make your life, the flight is always a little bit of a pain in the ass. But if at least there's one thing that we can take away from this, is that while you were across the pond, you were over in the Great Britain spending some time. I believe if we want to move things along to the spins and flips section, I think there were a couple pickups. A couple pickups while you were over across the pond. Yeah, you already seen it. Folks,
let's be real. The flight, it is what it is. You got to enjoy the time when you get there.
That's right.
Splendid. It was a splendid time. But you know me, and you know what I'm on. I'm all about the donuts. And I'm not talking about eating. I'm talking about spinning. So for me, I had to get out there. At one, when I go international type vibe, and I'm going to these record stores, I'm looking for something that comes from that area. The UK's got great music. We all know that, especially the grime rap scene. So that and foremost. But then sometimes over there they got records that we don't necessarily have in the States or some random person bought and brought over there. So you can find some crazy stuff over there. First and foremost, this one I knew. This was one that I was like, I want to get. And it was the first store I went to, and I swiped it because that's what it is. This is my girl, Little Sims. This is, I think, second or third album right here, but this is called Gray Area. This is a great project. She has, I think, probably better albums too, but this one is awesome, and I just didn't have it yet, and I've always wanted it, and so this was kind of like the start of it. If you don't know Little Sims, it's definitely rap, but it's got kind of like an R&B flow with it. Very introspective. All of UK rap's pretty introspective. This is my girl. Shout out Little Sims. Saw her live with Joe Juback, Ryan Brands. You heard it here first. Who else was there? We had Grace was there, and we had Hannah there. That was a fun time.
Santo Grimace was not in attendance, though.
No, the Grimace wasn't there. Now you want to talk about a UK legend. Hey, I saw this one used pretty cheap. You had to slide. Had to slide. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Now. This was just too easy. There's not much you can say. I think one thing I'd say, she was 21.
Dude.
Oh, but talent. That's a mature 21 look right there. I didn't look like that at 21.
No, you didn't. I can vouch for that.
But damn, 21.
But dude,
I looked it up on Spotify today. There's 3 songs on here that are over 2 billion streams each.
That's not
at 21.
Not at all surprising, dude. That is just pure,
no, not at all,
raw talent right there.
But Rolling in the Deep is one. Set Fire to the Rain is 2, and then Someone Like You is the third. Each over 2 billion. And I bet others are gonna catch up there. This has got to be that project. But damn, shout out Adele.
Great grab. Always great snag.
It was. This right here, interesting play. I don't know if people know who Corday is. Used to be YBN Corday. Corday is a great young rapper coming up. I think he's got a little maturing to do to just like put out a full project. This is his latest album, but I've never seen this at all pressed in the States at all. And he's from here. So very interesting to me. Some people might know him if you're a tennis fan. Naomi Osaka, he dated and is a baby mama. Okay, they broke up recently, but that's his connection here. Yeah. So that's that. His vibe a lot more like chiller, but and more lyrical focused. Not something that the young kids are doing. He's very much in that like young kid scene. So Shout out Corday.
Interesting.
I think this is a good album right here, but just cool that I found it and not very common over here.
I like
All right,
that.
next one. This is from LA, but I got a great deal on it. LA right here. LA Group. This is called the Internet. If you know who the Internet are, this is their second album, Hive Mind. They only have 2 albums. I like their first one, I think, a little bit better, but this is the second one. I had to roll it.
What a cover.
If you know who
right
Steve
there.
Lacy is, yeah, this cover goes crazy. This is not the cover that they use online for digital either. This is different. Steve Lacy's part of this group. The lead singer is Sid, only girl in the group too. The Internet were part of Odd Future, so they rode with Tyler and Earl and all them. So that's how you might hear about them.
Yeah.
But so this is a strict R&B group with definitely kind of that LA influence. This is a great time. If you're ever looking for like a good time record, put on Hive Mind or Ego Death by the Internet, and you'll be kicking it. Like, you know, you just kicking it at night, but you're looking for a good time. That's the vibe right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out the Internet.
All because
and then this, no one's gonna understand this joint, but this is the one that I'm probably even most excited that I found right here. Like, and no one's gonna get it. Like, no one's gonna get this. But one of the coolest covers in the game.
You got to explain this
one of the coolest covers in the game. Check that out right here. Ready?
Ooh.
Look, this guy looks like Grimace kind of, but red. All right. So here's it.
Little 3 eyes.
Boom. You feel me? So this is what the actual cover looks like, but this is the insert. Beautiful. This right here. That. If There's a Hell Below is the name of the album by an artist called Black Milk, who is a Detroit rapper. If you know who Jay Dilla is, he's kind of like a Jay Dilla influence artist, probably like a direct disciple of what he is. So this is grimy. This is some dirty introspective, but it's grimy. It's got that Jay Dilla feel, very much so. Black Milk is not well known. This record right here, when I was looking it up online, at least in the States, is selling for over 200 units. Damn. And that's USD. So 200 USD. Your boy, you know, I was stacking LBs over there, but I think this was like a 25, 30 pound.
You're speaking in quid.
So I'm saving dollars is all I'm saying by getting this. But this is one that I've always been looking for. This is my favorite Black Milk album of his. He's got great albums. I got a few more that we can roll through. But this right here, If There's a Hell Below, the fact that I found it, I was going crazy. Check out the bag with it. Bam. So those are the spins and flips. Hopefully you learned a little something, folks. But I think T has been reading a little something. So what are we flipping, sir?
I mean, we are flipping the script. We are flipping the topic of conversation quite a bit here. But I have been doing some reading. We talked about this a little bit last time. I've been making this kind of a priority for myself. I set a goal to try to read 12 books in 2025, right? Try to read 1 book a month. It felt like
1 book a month. Yeah, I had that goal for the past 2 years, so I respect that. That's good.
I got good news is that I'm already on 13, and it's September.
Okay.
I mean, almost October. Hey. It's almost October.
Hey, there we go.
But we hit the goal. And so book number 13 here is called The Cloudbuster 9. It's the easiest way to explain it is simply just to read the subtitle here. This is the untold story of Ted Williams and the baseball team that helped win World War II. So for some people, may not be baseball fans. If you're not a baseball fan, you've definitely never heard of this. If you are a baseball fan, you still probably haven't heard of this story. So a very, very interesting thing that happened in the United States in the 1940s, also happened again during Vietnam, is that a lot of the premier athletes across the country, Ted Williams, you know, one of the, if not the greatest hitter of all time, Major League Baseball, Boston Red Sox
I was just
legend.
looking that up. He's got like one of the best batting averages ever, right? Isn't that?
Yeah. I mean, the Splendid Splinter, as he was known.
Guy.
Very big contact guy, but big power guy. I mean, he hit some absolute colossal moonshots out of Fenway Park up there in Boston. So a lot of people may not know, during the wars, you know, the U.S. was recruiting anybody and everybody that they could get, right? You were lowering education requirements. You just needed bodies. You needed as many people who were willing to fight as you could get. Naturally, when these cadets, these to-be soldiers, these to-be fighter pilots in this case, you need someone who's going to be physically fit. And some of the best ways to recruit that was to look at who the professional athletes were at the time.
Right.
Another little fun fact, myself as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, a lot of Philadelphia people, a lot of Pittsburgh people would likely remember the 1 year that in the NFL. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Go Birds.
A lot of people might remember in the NFL there was 1 year where Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, they merged for a year. They played as the Phil Pitt Steagles. That was another result of World War II in the United States. I'm not lying.
They did that shit?
The Philadelphia Eagles and the Phil Pitt Steagles. That's right. They merged for one season because so many players from each team entered into the armed forces, and so they didn't have enough to field the two teams, so they merged the players together for one season. Go ahead, read it out.
No, this is true.
It is true.
Did this happen with other people, other teams?
That I'm not too familiar, but I imagine that it did. But if we take things back,
Steagles.
Yes, like I said, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you've probably heard the story. Don't look up the uniforms because they were atrocious. They were very, very ugly, and I would never recommend anybody donning uniforms like that ever again.
Bro, these helmets are crazy. They got like hats on, man.
Yeah, it was back in the old days.
We have to post a photo of the Phil Pitt Steagles after this drops so people know.
That's right. Yeah, we could bring that one up. So back to the Cloudbuster 9, though. This is what I've been flipping lately. So this one, not focused on the Steagles. This one is focused on Ted Williams and the Major League Baseball players that enlisted in the Navy, specifically, to take part in cadet training, fighter pilot training, down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, down at the University of North Carolina. So there were four universities, 4 places selected across the country to have this fighter pilot training program. And it was basically the most intensive fighter pilot, most intensive cadet training ever in a matter of 90 days.
They were just they weren't actually pilots. They were just training the kids.
Well, so Ted Williams did go on to actually fly fighter jets in the war. He, along with many other professional athletes, actually did serve this nation. They put on the uniform. But the story, the book, is about those 90 days down in North Carolina, where rather than donning the Red Sox jersey, he was donning a plain gray wool jersey with 4 letters, Navy, Navy, written across the chest. And you had exhibition matches going on between naval bases, between the Navy and the local colleges, between the Navy and local, blue-collar workers who just kind of fielded baseball teams to play twilight hours.
They just made baseball teams.
They made baseball teams. And this was a whole baseball league. Not for fun. No, at the end of the day, all the admission tickets for this and all the fundraising that went into these types of games was to sell war bonds so that the government had more money to spend on the war. So there was even one point during...
Tell me some kid from the Army was trying to throw a curveball to Ted Williams.
Well, so Ted Williams was on the Navy team. No, the most storied matchup that they had was, here's another combo team for you. The Navy, the Cloudbusters, as they were known, the Cloudbuster 9, they took a bus trip from North Carolina up to Yankee Stadium, and they played a game, exhibition match, against none other than the Yanklins. So that was a combo team between the New York Yankees and the Cleveland Indians. The Yanklins, managed by none other than Babe Ruth. This was supposed to be Babe Ruth's, I'm going to get back into the limelight of baseball because he was in his late 40s at the time, and this was his goal. He actually got back up to bat in the 6th inning, and he hit a single And then he ended up getting on to second base, and he was so tired by the time he got there that he had to call out a pinch runner for himself because all the smoking that he did and being in his late 40s and being, big tubby guy out of shape, it was not looking good for Babe Ruth. But all of this, just fascinating story of a damn near forgotten baseball team that existed during World War II and was a huge part not only of, like I said, selling war bonds and raising money for the war, but also in the South, in and around the North Carolina area. It was a way to, connect with the American population, to keep America's pastime going, and to give people something to get their mind off the fact that you got a war going on, and Pearl Harbor has just gotten bombed. It was a way to kind of keep Americans, true to their roots, and keep them optimistic about this war will end, and we'll get back to what we believe is normal life afterwards. So crazy story.
Dude, this guy right here, Ted Williams, has got to be top 10 player of all time. I'm looking up the stats right now. His batting average was, this is in the major leagues, by the way, not against this pro club Army team. He batted .344, OPS at 1.116, with 521 home runs and a complete WAR, so wins above replacement, in his entire career of 121.8, so more like 122.
Dude was a beast.
And these scrubs, truly scrubs, I guess they were like military people, so they were fit, but they're not baseball players. Are trying to pitch it, bro. What the fuck did he hit in that league? He must have been batting like 680, like easily.
I'm not going to be able to find the exact statistic, but basically through his first, I don't know, call it dozen games, he was quite literally batting 500. Like every other time he got up to the plate, he was hitting.
That's crazy. That's fascinating. What an interesting way to try to.
Here we go.
War effort dollars.
In the first 7 games played by the Cloudbusters, with Ted Williams as a member of the squad, 7 games they scored 61 runs, and Ted Williams had an even 500 batting average. Second on the team to Buddy Hassett, who was 11 of 20 for a 550 batting average. So this team was not
Buddy
just
Hassett.
So this team was not just Ted Williams. It was a slew of Major League Baseball players that shipped their way down to North Carolina to train as fighter pilots, to go through rigorous training, but to also play on this barnstorming baseball team to raise money for them.
Buddy Hassett could ball too. This guy, 290, 292. He can't hit for nothing, but 12 home runs. But WAR at 9.6. I mean, this is solid.
A lot of really solid
like 6-8 year career.
A lot of really solid ball players.
And I guess his prime was taken off because, this guy. Damn, did he die in the war? He didn't play after 1942 because of the war.
So, anyway,
that's crazy.
Very, very interesting story for baseball fans out there. Highly recommend the read. For people who are interested in American history, even highly recommend the read. Very, very well researched book. It's not necessarily a narrative. It is very much it's a history lesson. It's a research project. I mean, there are hundreds upon hundreds of references throughout this book, whole bibliography, given credit where credit is due naturally. But this was, this was a story that was potentially going to just completely get lost to time. If it weren't for Ann Kane here, who decided to start reaching out, to start researching. The reason that she wrote the book is because her father was the bat boy of the Navy Cloudbusters during Ted Williams' time on base. And so she was able to find a couple of his, old photos and old record keeping from when he was a child at the base after her father passed away. that was what kind of sent her down this rabbit hole. And so she interviewed as many relevant people as she possibly could. She reached out to the Navy and got information from their archives. She did a phenomenal job researching this book. Definitely highly recommend for baseball fans, for sports fans. Check it out.
Keene, yo. Shout out to Ann Keene. That's wild. What a wild story.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've been chopping it up for a while here, Nick. I think we covered a lot. I think
yes.
You got anything you want to send us out on today?
I think I do, and it goes in tandem with this whole baseball theme that we've been having. Folks, you might have heard the New York Mets have been bounced from the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the highest payroll ever, all this, so high expectations. So this is my inspiration to you. If you're ever down on yourself, if you're ever having a bad day, if you ever made a mistake, okay, just remember one thing. You are not the New York Mets, so it can always be better, all right? And that's a beautiful thing to think about, okay?
Yeah.
It can be a lot worse.
It could be.
You could be paid a lot more money to fail, all right? And you're not. You're not in that boat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever are going through something, just think about it. You're better than the Mets. And that's the beauty of it right there, folks. And that is the beauty of it right there. Can always be better than the Mets, all right? So
anybody and everybody.
Maybe next year, but hey, keep your head up. You know what it is.
That's what Andy
Grimace
says.
Folks, I think this is bringing us to a conclusion of this episode right here. And you already know what it is. I'm Nick D. That boy's Todd. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode half as much as we enjoyed making it for you.
Because we had a ball, and only real ideas are going to last. All the little bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow.
And without further ado, we'll see you next time. Good night, Connecticut.
Good night, New York.